graduated, elevated. Now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves, take it to the top one time, non-stop.
Thank you, Noma, for giving me this opportunity to get interviewed. And I'm really excited to share my journey, my experience, what I have gone through. So, as you have asked about the postdoc, actually, so I'm not talking about the master's and PhD. Basically, I moved to Germany after finishing my PhD in France. And I was working with a company called Biomedics Institute. And this company is actually working in the model of outcubator model, where they basically work with big pharma companies. So the pharma company give the project, and these are high risk projects. And then this particular company, Biomedics, hire the entire team, including the group leader candidate, two postdoc, and a few PhD students. And so a brand new group start. So I started as a postdoc in this company, and I was working with a project on multiple sclerosis. And basically, it's on with a neurodegenerative disease model. Worked with this company for 1.5 years. And during this time, as I am based in Heidelberg, so it's also a startup hub. It's like people are really motivated for startup and all. So I started to get also in contact with the people of Heidelberg University, startup founders. Then I found like, okay, there is also some other things other than the hardcore research side. So I started to take a coursework with Heidelberg University. It's a free coursework, which was not known to me earlier, but then I came to know, and I was very excited to join the course. And I started to develop a different kind of prospect. Like before that, I was a hardcore pure scientist, only thinking about, okay, these cells are doing, like I'm a macrophage and like immunologist, so mostly work with macrophage and all. So I was always thinking about those research aspect, never thought about the business aspect. So after joining this startup industry, startup culture, in one point I thought like, okay, I want to explore the other side of it, entrepreneurial side. So after finishing this entrepreneurial skill set certification course with Heidelberg University, that time I also started to build a project of mine. So basically this project, the idea of the project is basically coming from my PhD time. It's like when I was doing PhD, and one of the issue, what I felt is that PhD students in early days, they are doing many new experiments. And when they are doing experiments, many times they need help. And what happens, like during that time, they also do not have a lot of community known all to them. So obviously they are also stuck. They are only stuck within the people who are working in their own laboratory. And sometimes they have like restriction within the laboratory, like they do not have all the expertise in the laboratory. And then they try to find other people on the other platforms like ResearchGate and all. But when you try to find these people who can help you, you sometimes meet with people, like for example in my case, it happened like for macrophage culture, I meet with someone from Ireland, from Dublin University. uh, it was very wonderful. We talked a lot, but it was a distance communication. So there are a lot of miscommunication also happened, because when you were like writing email, chatting and all. Then, but when I reached the end of my PhD, I found that there are just another professor, another group working on macrophages just 600 meters away from my lab. Just the thing is that I didn't know about them.
Hello and welcome to PhD Hard Talk. I wanted to take this opportunity to reintroduce myself to everybody that's recently followed, and also to say thank you to everybody that's followed me on this journey. 6 series in, I think 7, we're still going, so thank you again. Who am I? I am Noma Mguni. I'm currently a PhD researcher at the University of Derby. I'm looking at women's career progression, what it looks like, what it shouldn't look like. Maybe we're not interested in having a career as women. Who knows, right? That's my research. So once I publish, make sure you read my research. That's number one. What does Noma do outside of academia? So Noma works in HR. I am like a detective in terms of casework. I'm strategic and I make decisions, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but who knows? Life goes on, right? No, I joke with you. I'm very compliant when needed be, and I'm very strategic as well. So, going back to PhD Hard Talk, what made me start PhD Hard Talk? I started this YouTube channel because I believed in the fact that we need our voices to be heard globally. And also in terms of dissemination, it's always good to have a discussion because you can identify your blind spots while you're talking to somebody. I think we've done that, 6 series in, we're still going. And in regards to the added benefits, those who've then gone on to start their businesses, I've spoken to them about their businesses on PhD Hard Talk. I've been educated and I hope everybody at home has been educated. So that's project dissemination to the world. In terms of sustainable knowledge to the world, I get asked this question or I get feedback. Well, Noma, do you know what? Why don't you get some lippy on or lipstick, and do your face and look very appealing? And I always say, I am selling knowledge and it's niche. It's not everybody that's after knowledge and it's not everybody who wants to do something with that knowledge. So why should I manhandle my face, literally, or metaphorically speaking, and do so much to my face to look a certain way? Is it for viewings? What is it for? Because I believe what we're doing is very impactful in the communities where we conduct our research, because they get to understand what we're after, why we're doing it, and also we get to champion their voices. When we have these conversations, we talk about what we learned, reflections, what was said, why it was said, and the lived experiences of our participants help us to become who we are. Without the participants, we have nothing.
Your supervisor in such a way, because your supervisor is not only going to decide your academic, that short-term PhD, it's just 3 years, but you need someone who can be also your guide for lifelong. So like what I got from my supervisor is he is not only guided me for academically, but also any kind of advice. So even in case of personal life as well, he was there always. So it's super good. Choose your
literally mind your own business, right? Because it is a journey and we don't know when we're going to finish. And I think that's the most stressful thing to ask a PhD student is, when do you finish? Or a DBA researcher or student. It is very, very stressful because sometimes you just don't know. Because you can't control your research findings, you can't control your participants, you can't control life. Life just happens during your PhD. And for somebody to come in when you applied by yourself and ask you a question and say, when do you finish? I feel like that's inappropriate, but that is my opinion. But I'm speaking on behalf of all the PhDs that I've spoken to, who've said to me, actually, that's inappropriate. And some DBAs as well. Have you published? Is it your business? Why are you asking me that question? Check on Google, right? Don't ask me that question. Again, that's a trigger point. Because to publish, you go through...